You told me on my last visit about an experience that you had serving the people, the homeless people of the outskirts of Tijuana. Do you mind sharing that with us today?
We think back and we try sometimes to determine what was that point in our life when everything changed and God, as we want to envision Him, became real. And it was there. We had driven all day all over Tijuana. I was dirty. My van was dirty. It was quite a day. And at the end of the day, we were getting ready to go back to San Diego. And the man said, "Can we please do one more run up this hill?" It was a very frightening hill. We got there. My job was to pass out the gifts. The children would come, and I would say, "Cuántos años?" They would tell me, and then I'd give them a gift for that age. A boy was sitting by my feet to my left, and someone came over and gave him a pair of craftsman work gloves. And the boy looked to be about 14, 15. And I was very chagrined. I thought in my little self-righteous mind, who would give this child work gloves when others are getting basketballs and baseball bats and dolls? And I was pretty upset about that. So then it was time to load up. We went down the hill. And it was very small, like maybe in the Grand Canyon, only a mule could get down this trail. So we're going down this trail, and all of a sudden our caravan stops. And the man in the front van came back with a big stack of sweet breads and things that he was going to do something with. I don't know. He's walking right in this little gutter by the trail. And when he gets up to my van, he bends down. And I look in, I follow down, and I see the boy that had been handed the work gloves. He had no legs. And he was using the work gloves to lift himself down that hill. And he had gone up with bare hands to get the gloves. And so Reuben, the head guy, was going to give him the rest of these cakes that we didn't take. The moment that I looked at that young man, I stopped breathing. I literally stopped breathing. And when I breathed again, I felt something different come into my lungs that I can only equate to that time when they say in Christianity, and maybe other faiths say the same thing, the Spirit fills us. From that day forward, I changed. I changed. And it was that boy. It was like I saw the face of who the Creator is in this boy. And that was the experience that really changed my life.
One of them is very well to do financially. They're active socially. Financial insecurity is not even on their horizon. They might have a family, maybe not, but they're very, very busy. The other person is someone who's maybe not educated, struggling. Maybe they're even serially unemployed. It's all they can do to get dinner on the table each day. Neither of these two people has ever done anything for anyone or any organization outside of themselves, outside of their own narrowly defined self-interest, which may include their spouse and children, but other than that, nothing. Why would someone like that want to be of service to someone or something other than themselves?
Well, wanting sometimes is not as much a part of the equation as just saying yes. Because as I said to you in a couple of other questions, I didn't want to go to Tijuana. I was a little worried about getting my car dinged up. I didn't want to sleep overnight in the church with 3 homeless families that I didn't know. But somebody wanted me to, and therefore I did. So I would encourage the rich person to just say yes. And I would encourage the poor struggling person to just say yes for the very same reason. And that reason is that there's something to be found in service. And it isn't that we're going to be doing something for the individual, blessing them, creating a better life for them. We create the blessing for ourselves. And to not have that and not know what that feels like is something that people shouldn't miss. And so you're not going to know what that is until you say yes. So give it a try.
So let's say one of our viewers was inspired by what you just said, and they wanted to be involved. What might they expect to get out of it? What experience might they have?
Well, if you're very, very wealthy, and again, sometimes you just need a little crack in that mind or that door, they might go back home and realize how incredibly blessed they are by all that is around them. And they might decide that they could share some of that in some way for the cause that matters most to them, whatever it is. And if they're very, very poor, interestingly enough, Bruce, the same thing is going to happen. They're going to go home and they're going to look around and they're going to feel that they have a lot more than they thought they had before they helped someone who was in need. And again, it's that common denominator of leveling, that service opens our eyes to actually what we have around us, and we disregard it so much of the time.
Let's say this person who's inspired by what you've said, they'd like to try it. They'd like to create a crack, an opening, but they don't want to dive in head first. They want to get their toesies wet. Can you suggest a service project, either individual or group, that they might involve themselves with as a way of trying before they buy?
There's so many, and all different programs
So just a few.
Just entry level. For instance, here at Family Promise, we have a kids camp. Come and be a volunteer chaperone and spend your day with the children, going to parks, museums. Our van driver is going to be the staff on duty. Enjoy a wonderful day of children laughing that wouldn't have these opportunities otherwise. Go to a food bank. Help them straighten their shelves, or if you like to work with groceries, get the boxes ready for the families that are going to receive that food. There's just sort of what do you like to do? Would you like to work in a thrift store? Would you like to help homeless families? Would you like to work with veterans? Would you like to work with animals? What is it that you think might be attached to your interests? And then just pick something small. Perhaps just answering phones. We have a lady that comes every Thursday to answer phones, do anything we have here. And another one that comes for a couple hours on Tuesday, and she enters data into our computer. Two very faithful volunteers that do very small 1-hour tasks, but they mean a lot to us and the people we serve.